Hey, everybody, and welcome back. We're diving into some pretty intense stuff today.
Yeah, definitely some deep stuff.
Yeah, we're taking a look at this story of Jairus and his daughter.
Oh, wow.
And this story is actually explored in a devotional called Talitha Koum, Daughter Arise by Donovan Edwards.
Interesting.
It's from his book, Miracles Just Ahead. So we're going to kind of digging into all that.
Awesome.
Yeah, these old stories, even though they're from so long ago, they still kind of hit home today.
I think so too. Yeah, they're super relevant still.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. So this story begins with Jairus, and he's this well-respected religious leader,
Okay.
and he's facing this just unimaginable situation. His daughter's dying,
Oh, wow.
and he's desperate. He breaks all these social and religious norms just to go get help from Jesus.
Wow.
It really makes you think, like, when we face tough stuff in our own lives,
Right.
what are those things, those walls that kind of hold us back?
I think that's such a good question. And I know for me, I think about like all the expectations that people put on us, and or even like the fear of what people will think
Right.
if you do something that's maybe a little different.
Oh, totally. And I even think it's like those beliefs that we kind of grow up with,
Absolutely.
that we almost like we're taught them, but then they become these like limiting things in our minds.
You hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, it's like these invisible walls.
Totally. And it takes so much courage to break through that stuff.
It really does.
But just when Jairus is like clinging to hope, he gets this just crushing news.
Oh, no.
His daughter has actually died. A messenger shows up
Yeah.
and is basically like, dude, it's over.
Oh, wow.
Don't even bother with Jesus anymore. Like, just give up.
That's heartbreaking.
Can you imagine getting that news?
Yeah,
mean,
seriously.
You're already in agony, and then this happens.
Right.
It would just destroy your hope.
Yeah, it's like a double whammy of bad news.
Totally. And it's interesting because in a way that messenger
Yeah.
kind of represents those voices that we all deal with sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Those negative thoughts or people that tell us we should quit.
Right.
Like it's not worth it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But the real tricky part, and I think a lot of people listening can relate to this, is
Sure.
how do you tell the difference between advice that's actually good for you
Yeah.
and then that stuff that's just bringing you down? you
Yeah.
know?
Right. Like knowing when to listen and when to maybe just tune it out.
Exactly.
It's tough.
And that's where things get really interesting in this story.
Okay.
So Jesus hears this news, and he tells Jairus
Yeah.
that his daughter isn't actually dead. She's just sleeping.
Whoa.
And, this isn't just about, like, literally coming back to life.
Right.
It's a really powerful metaphor, I think, for how we see those tough times in our lives.
Absolutely. Because like, take for example, like a dream
Yeah.
that you had or a project you were working on that you thought just completely failed.
Totally.
Was it really gone, or was it maybe just like dormant, waiting for the right time to come back?
That's a good way to put it.
Like that idea of thinking about death as sleep, it's like a total shift in perspective.
Yeah.
Like what you see as the end could actually just be like a pause
Right.
or a bridge to something even better.
It's like a new beginning, even.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then Jesus says this really simple but profound thing to Jairus. He's like,
What's that?
don't be afraid, only believe.
Wow.
It's like he's saying that belief is the key to making the impossible happen.
I love that.
Have you
Yeah.
ever been in a spot where you just wanted to quit,
Many times.
but something kept you going?
Yeah.
Like, what was that for you?
I think for me, it was just the stubbornness that I have
Oh, yeah.
to prove people wrong,
That'll do it.
Like if someone says I can't do something, that just lights a fire under me to prove them wrong.
Right.
So yeah, I guess you could say that's my sword.
That's awesome. And I think for Jairus, it was his faith,
Right.
this unshakable belief in Jesus that he could do anything.
That makes sense.
What do you think it is for people listening? What's that sword for them?
Yeah, that's a good question for everyone to think about.
What's that inner strength or belief or skill that helps them fight for what they want?
Yeah, I think we all have something like that. We just have to tap into it.
For sure. And, the devotional points out that when they get to the daughter,
Yeah.
there's no decay,
Yeah.
no smell of death. Like she really was just sleeping.
Wow.
And I thought it was interesting how that idea of no decay
Yeah.
could apply to our goals too.
Yeah.
The ones that we've kind of put on hold.
I see what you mean.
It's like a reminder that even when our passions or projects seem like they've stalled,
Right.
there's still potential there, maybe just hidden.
It's like a seed under the ground.
Exactly.
You can't see it, but it's full of life, ready to grow.
Totally. And the key is to spot those little signs of life, those sparks.
Those little hints that things aren't really over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap this all up,
Yeah.
we've learned some pretty cool stuff today, like belief can help us overcome anything.
Mm.
And thinking about death as dormancy can really change our whole perspective.
Yeah.
And it's so important to recognize those little signs of life, even when things look hopeless.
Absolutely.
But here's one last thing to think about.
Okay.
Think about a dream that you feel like you've given up on.
All right.
Could it be that there are signs of life that you're missing?
Interesting.
Is it possible to bring it back to life?
That's something to think about.
Something to ponder. Until next time.